Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another video today. I have not been on here the past couple of weeks, and I was just thinking to myself on yesterday, I was like, I have to get on here. I have to do another video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. If any of the content that you enjoy, that you like, or it's relatable, you can subscribe to my channel and you can pass the word around. You can share the word so that other people can come over to my channel and that they can look at some of my content, and that they can also possibly subscribe to the channel and share and share and share. But there was something I was actually thinking about. It was a few things I was thinking about. But one thing that I felt the need to really get on here and talk about is just from a woman's perspective, and just being a mom, or being a single parent. This video is more for single mothers, and something that actually came to my mindset was when I was on Facebook, and I was kind of scrolling on my homepage. I was scrolling on my timeline, and I ran across a few posts, and how someone was talking about how hard it is just being a mother, and how hard it is being a single parent and having to take care and raise your kids like all by yourself. And that was the reason why I was triggered to actually do this video, because I'm a single parent myself. And one thing that came to my thought is that it's always fun laying down. It's always fun, having sex and having casual sex. That's fun. It's exciting. It feels good. But it's not fun when you have to carry that baby, when you have to go through when you're pregnant, and when you have to go through everything that you have to go through when you're pregnant. It's not fun when you have to give birth to that baby, and then it's not even more fun when you have to raise that baby all by yourself. So it's fun. It's fun when you're having the sex. It's fun when you're laying down unprotected and you're just having casual sex. But it's not fun when you have to go through everything you have to go through when you're carrying that baby, when you're in the delivery room, and then on top of that, just to top it off, you have to raise this baby. You have to raise these children all by yourself. And the reason being, it could be that the father is no longer around for whatever reason that is. What I always say is that it seems like a mother, and this just speaking from a woman's perspective, everybody is always going to have their opinion, and that is okay. But I'm speaking from just my own personal experience, and I'm speaking from what I know and what I believe, is that it seems like for mothers that we really don't always have a choice. But then it's a different story when it comes to fathers, because we have a lot of men, and not all men, because we also have single fathers that have chosen to take on having full custody of their children. But for the most part, and in many cases, and in many situations, we have a lot of single mothers. More households are made up of single mothers, okay, when it comes to parenting in the household. More households are made up of single mothers than it's made up of a two-parent household, or even a single father household. More of that is single mothers. And it's not fun when we have to take on having to take care of these kids all by ourselves. And sometimes us as mothers, we don't have a choice. But fathers, the one who took part in making that baby, at times they have choices. They can come and go whenever they please. They can step in and out whenever they please. They can come around whenever they please. They can take care of the baby whenever they please. But when it comes to us as single mothers, in many cases, we don't have that choice. It's like we have to stay there. We have to sit there. We have to raise this child. And one thing about children, they just fit right in the budget. It's like if you have a budget, it's like it's an exception when you have children, because they just fit right on in the budget, because whatever they need, you have to provide regardless. Whatever they need. It's like, okay, when it comes to kids, it's really not too much of a budget, because they just fit right on in the budget, because we always have to provide, as a single mom, for our children. And also too, as single mothers, we have to be able to support our children in every stage of development. We have to always, as long as we're here on the face of this earth, as long as we're here and alive, we always have to support and help our children. We always have to have conversations with them. We always have to instill knowledge and wise words inside of them. We always have to discipline them, and when they get older, discipline them more with having conversations with them. Even it doesn't matter how old they get, that we're, even as parents, have to tell them when they're wrong, and we also have to tell them when they're right, giving them praise and encouraging them and uplifting them. It's like, as parents, we have to do that in every stage of development, even as they get grown, and even as they become adults, and even as they may construct and build their own families, and as they move forward and get into their own relationships, and they have their own children, and they may get married, but mama is always there. That mama is always supposed to be there, helping and supporting their children. It doesn't end when they turn 18. I need you out of my house, and don't ask me for nothing, don't call me for nothing. No, it doesn't end when they turn 21. I need you out of my house. You've grown now. I need you on your own. Don't call me for nothing, because I done raised you. No, every stage of development, they need parents, or they need mom to be there to help them and to support them. That it does not matter how old they get or how grown they are, that we're always there telling them when they're right, telling them when they're wrong, when they're coming to you for help, and we're providing as much help as we possibly can. But this is what I want to say when it comes, also what I want to add to this, when it comes to single parenting, is that we have to get to a place as single mothers that we have to break this cycle. We have to break this pattern, because what's happening is that it's all fun and it's all exciting and it all feels good, because a lot of times we're believing everything these man is saying. We're believing everything men are saying, that they're gonna be there. Well, he said he was gonna be there. He said he loved me. He said that he wouldn't walk out on me. He said he wanted me to have his baby. So with one man, he telling you all of this, and he's filling your mind up with all of this, and we're so blind. A lot of times, I know what I'm talking about, because I've been there. I had both of my children young. I had my son at 21. I had my daughter at 24. I've been there. And a lot of times we're so caught up in our emotions, and we're so caught up in our feelings, and we're just on a cloud, and we're just listening to everything that he's saying to you, and he said this and he said that. We're believing everything that sometimes a lot of these men are saying to us, but the reality of that don't kick in until you are sitting up there pregnant, until we have to have this baby, and now you're a single mom, and now you have to take on all of this all by yourself, because he done walked out, and you have no clue. We don't have no clue where he's at. And so, I want you to have my baby, and I'm gonna be there, and I love you. But the moment you tell him you're pregnant, he ghosts you, and you haven't heard nothing from him. Now you're going through the pregnancy all by yourself. Now you're having to take care of this child all by yourself. But the thing that I'm starting to see is it becomes a pattern that we're laying down, having babies with multiple men. And the only thing that we have to say about it is what he told you. We got to stop believing everything. A lot of times we're full-fledged being led by our emotions. It feels good, it sounds good, it looks good, so it gotta be good. No, you're just high up on the cloud because all of this sex and all of this casual sex, and then we're having sex unprotected and all of that. Next thing you know, there's a baby. But then you are the one, as a single mom, as a woman that has to take care of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, and you're only one person. And then we have it now where we just give up. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to be a mom anymore. And then we try to cast that responsibility, your battle, onto somebody else. Because a lot of times we're just young, and like there used to be a saying that if, you know, a lot of the old school people would say that young, dumb, and just full of cum, just having all of this sex, unprotected sex, and in the moment. But see, we're having all of this sex and stuff, and it's feeling good in a moment, but for a lifetime you have to support that child. For a lifetime, you have to take care of that child. When that child reaches, you still have to support for a lifetime. But we get so caught up in a moment of a feel good. And as a parent, a single parent, having multiple kids with multiple baby daddies, that for a lot of times they're not around, or they're in and out, or something tragic then happened, or they're in jail or in prison. But then you have all of these kids and you're only one person, and you're trying it. Yeah, it's very hard. It's fun having the sex and making the baby, but it's not fun having to carry that baby and everything that you have to go through. And now you have to take care of not only one child, not only 2, 3, 4, 5 kids all by yourself. But then it's like, that's your responsibility now, because those are your children. That's a battle now that you have to fight. But then we have to break the pattern that we're not just around here just getting pregnant and getting pregnant and getting pregnant and having kids, and then we're wondering why he's not around. Because a lot of times we're so high up on a cloud, and we're believing when he said that he loved you, and that he wanted you to have his baby, and that he wanted y'all to be together forever, and that you were his soulmate, and all of that. But then the reality and the truth of that kicks in when you're sitting there by yourself, having to now raise a child all by yourself. As a single parent, as a single mom. And one thing I found out about single parenting is, as a single mom, that if you don't do it, then it's not going to happen. If you, it's all on you. Like, if you don't get up and do it, then it's not going to do it. If you don't get up and go to work, then you don't really have no other income that you can lean on, or that you may even fall back on, because it's just you as a single mom. If you don't cook dinner, then dinner is not going to get done. If you don't do the laundry, then the laundry is not going to get done. And we don't want to get to a place that when our kids reach a certain age, I'm tired of you, I need you out of my house. But it has to start when they're young, teaching them to be responsible, teaching them to be independent, so that they can grow to become decent individuals and independent individuals who are productive and doing great things in the world, but that they are not a terror, and that they're out here messing up their lives. So then when they do reach that age, they're going to have the responsibility to want to move out of the house and want to have their own place and being able to do for themselves, and that they're excited about that. Excited about going out there in the workplace. Excited about getting their license. Excited about getting their first car. Excited about moving out into their own apartment, that they're getting older and they're becoming a young adult and they're taking care of themselves. That we have to teach that to them when they're young. And that it's not so much on a stress on us, that even when they get older and even when they reach that young adult age, that they just don't have the skills, because they've been so dependent. A lot of kids are so dependent on us to take care of them and do things for them. So even when they get older and even when they reach that young adult age, they're still expecting mama to take care of them and provide for them. And that becomes so stressful, and it becomes so frustrating, and you get to a point where I just need you out But then they don't even know what it really takes to be out there on their own, taking care of business. Because as much as we want to be there for our children 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, every second, every minute, we cannot. And there's some things that they're going to have to be able to problem solve through, because we're all living and learning. And we all should be living and growing. So us as single moms, we have to break the pattern and realize that the sex is fun, but raising these kids are not. Raising these kids is very stressful, very frustrating. And there is times where as a single mom, you may cry. Because you're like, oh my goodness, I don't even know if I can continue to do this all by myself. This is really hard. This is difficult. Because this one needs you, that one needs you, but then you trying to be with this one, but then this one needs you. And it's like I can only be in one place at one time. And when we have a lot of children all by ourselves, it's actually hard to be able to give each one the attention, honestly, as a single mom, the attention that they need. It's hard to even focus really on all of them to know what's really going on when you have a lot of kids. And to anyone who does not have kids, or even when you have kids, that you're choosing to break the cycle and say, you know, the next baby I have, or whenever I have kids, I want to be married. I want to know I have a husband. But then you also have to know that are you marrying the right person? And all of that needs to be set in stone before you say I do. It's too many broken homes. It's too many single homes. It's too many single parent homes. It's too many single mothers having to take on, single fathers having to take on these kids all by themselves. And you may have the help. You may have support from other family members or close relatives or friends or school officials and things of that. But it's still the absence of the other parent that's not there. You know, and then all of these wounds, like father wounds and all of that, it starts to form. You know, abandonment issues and things of that we have to go through, and that we have to sit there with our kids and see them go through that. And that we have to explain to our kids this situation and why it ended up this way. But we have to learn from that and stop just getting pregnant, and he said this and he said that, and we're listening to this person fill you up and fill your mind up with all of this, you know what I'm saying? And saying, you know, the next time I choose to have any kind of sex or have anybody else's baby, that I want to be married. I want to be in covenant. But not only do I want to be married and in covenant with someone, I want to be married and in covenant with the right person. Not just someone that is looking good and everything that he's saying is sounding all good and is feeling all good, and none of that. Getting out of our emotions and getting out of our feelings, and a lot of times we're just so high up because we're having sex. So you think you have something, you think you have chemistry and a connection, when the only thing it is just good sex. It's just casual sex. And we have to be better. We have to do better. Because see, he can leave, a man can just leave anytime. But you as a woman, in most cases, are stuck there with that child and with those kids. A lot of times, this is not all situations that sometimes a man is doing however he wants to do and living his life, but you can't just up and go. You gotta, because you have a kid now, you have children now. You gotta pay for childcare and babysitters. So it's like we have to learn from our mistakes, and then we have to declare better the next time around and say, okay, I'm raising 1 or 2 kids and this isn't fun. So I'm not going to be out here just having all of this sex, because I'm already raising 2 or 3 by myself already. Their fathers are not around. So then I'm learning from this. I'm learning and I'm growing from this, and I'm becoming wiser. And I'm going to choose to break the cycle. And that's what we have to do as single moms. Because when it's just on one person, it's not easy at all. You know, when you having to pay everything by yourself, having to take care of 3, 4, and 5 small children all by yourself, like that is not easy. Especially sometimes when you're working even a job, it's hard for even for 2-parent households sometimes to take care of the kids. So you know that if it's hard for 2 parents, then it's even more harder for 1 parent. Because if you don't do it, then nobody else will. Because at the end of the day, it's all on you as a single mom. At the end of the day, you are the parent. And that it all falls on you. And it's fun while we're making the baby. It's fun. It's all fun. It's exciting. It feels good. And what I experienced too, just having that, you don't care. It's feeling too good. You having too much fun. You don't care about no kind of birth control. You don't care about no condom. You don't care about nothing. Whatever he says is whatever he says. He talking about he wants you to have his baby. Okay, I don't care. I'm in the cloud. And we get too caught up in the sex and the excitement and the adrenaline. We get so caught up in that. But then you have to get serious when you're pregnant and you're having that baby. You have to take care of that baby. And that we have to choose to break the cycle and say, you know what, I'm not going to just keep laying down and having all of these kids with all of these different men, and I'm sitting down and they filling my mind up and they saying all the right things and I'm believing all of that, and next thing you know I'm pregnant and he done vamped, he done left, he done ghosted me. I have no clue where he's at. Now I'm stuck. Now I'm having to take on raising this child all by myself. Parenting is a lifetime. Me as a mom, that is a lifetime for me. It doesn't end when my kids turn 18. It doesn't end when my kids turn 21 and move out of the house. For a lifetime, as long as I'm here, I have to help and support them. I have to instill words of wisdom and knowledge inside of them. I have to discipline them more now with conversations. I have to tell them when they're right, tell them when they're wrong. Give them praise, encourage them, pray with them, pray for them. All of that is as long as I'm here. As long as we're here, as single moms, as parents, this is what we're going to have to do. And a lot of times for single moms, it's not a choice for us to take care of those kids. But for a lot of men, it is, because they can choose to leave and not ever come back. And then we have to raise those kids and sit there with those kids, and they go through things like father wounds and abandonment and why dad left me and why dad isn't here. And then we have to go through them making bad choices and unwise decisions because there is the absence of the other parent. But we have to break the cycle, and we have to just stop having all of these kids with all of these men, and then reality and the truth of it kicks in, and we're saying things like, it's just so hard, and it's just so difficult, and I just don't know what to do, and I'm stressed, and you're feeling all of this, and all of this is weighing you down, but then the next man you get in a relationship with, you pregnant by him. So we have to break the cycle. We have to shift and change our mindset. We have to get our spirits intact. We can't just be walking around here open, just wide open all the time, just wide open all the time. And that includes legs wide open all the time. Because the more kids we have as single moms, the harder it gets. The more complicated it gets. The more stressful it gets. The more kids you have. And you do that all by yourself, and there is an absence of a father. It gets even more harder, even more difficult, even more stressful. And there's only so much we can do, and there's only so much we can take, just as being human beings anyway. So it's a question of when are we going to stop? When are you going to stop having kids? Out of wedlock, not being married. You got 1, you got 2, when does it stop? You got 3, when does it stop? 4, 5, when does it stop? And we got to change that, but then we have to stand on top of that. We got to pull away and say, I'm not going to be just out here like that. And a lot of times too, this is what I want to say, when we should be just really focusing on our children and on ourselves and really going deep in ourselves, a lot of times we're so focused on getting into a relationship and getting a man and all of that, and then when we get so caught up in that, the next person you get into a relationship with, it's just a pattern that just repeats itself. Now, you didn't let this man get you pregnant. That didn't work out. And then now it just continues and continues, and we're so focused on having a man and getting a man and all of that, when we got all of these kids. All of these kids need your attention. All of these kids need your focus, not a man. Because it seems like every man you get into a relationship with knock you up. I'm just being honest. I'm just being truthful. Knock you up. And now you stuck there raising a child. This happened with the first one. This happened with the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one. But yet we'll have all these kids, and we still sitting back saying, I want a man. If you don't get yourself together and get your mindset and your spirit intact, that you're going to attract the same kind and the same type of man that will do you the same way these other men that you've been with have done you. Coming in to misuse you, mishandle you, just lay down with you. And see, you have to, this is something also too, this is what I want to say too. This is something that dropped in my spirit just now. I believe that sometimes a man don't care anything about getting you pregnant, because he got it in his mind anyway he ain't gonna be there. That was something that just dropped in my spirit just now. I don't care. I can go out here and get all these women pregnant, but I ain't gonna be around. I ain't gonna be there. I can go out here and have all these babies, but I'm not gonna be a father. I'm not gonna be there. Because we just have a men, and not all men, but we have a lot of men that are just having all of this sex, not caring anything about protection, not caring about getting you pregnant, because it's like, I'm not going to be there anyway. So it's like, okay, you pregnant, well, that's on you. I've heard some men say that. You pregnant, that's on you. Because I don't want to have anything to do with that. I don't even want to deal with that. But yet they were a part of that. But they're choosing not to take part in women being pregnant and having that baby. So it's like, I don't care, because I'm not going to be around anyway. Because it's probably you and about 20 other women that may be pregnant by me. So I don't care. So you do what you need to do. You do what you have to do. If you want to have the baby, keep the baby. It's all on you. That's how, some of the mindsets, I believe, of a lot of these men, And that we have to just break that cycle. Too many of our households, especially the black households, a lot of brokenness, a lot of broken homes, a lot of wounds, a lot of issues. Because I always say that the ball always winds up in the woman's court anyway, that we can say no. That when we pull back and when we start keeping our legs closed, we stay off our back, then we don't have to worry about this man going up in you raw and getting you pregnant and you having to have that baby and take care of that baby. We have to keep our legs closed. We have to pull back and say no. And not keep allowing ourselves to get so, just so hot and heated and not caring, and you just want to do it because you just so on fire, and he ain't caring because he not going to be there anyway. That's a mentality, that's a spirit of a lot of men. But then you have to look at the woman, her mentality and her spiritual state. We have to become strong women. We can't just be walking around, weak and gullible. The Bible talks about they creep into the houses of gullible women that's laid down with lust. That's what that is. We got to get out of all of this lust and really know what it means to have true chemistry. And really know what it means to have a real connection with someone. Sex has nothing to do with real chemistry and real connection. You can have a great connection and real quick chemistry with someone without not even having sex with them. Sex has nothing to do with building and establishing a healthy relationship on a rock solid foundation. Sex has nothing to do with that. But what I found out is we're living in a time and we're living in a world where everything is all about sex. Everything is so overly rated with sex. But then we have to choose to pull back and say, I'm not going to take any part in that because I've been there and I've done that. And I already know the outcome of that, and I'm still enduring, get this, the consequences of that. Because I'm a single mom, already got 1 or 2. 3, 4. So I'm not going to keep doing that. So it ends with you. It ends with me. And I just wanted to get on here and say that so that we're not so bottled down, stressed out all the time, frustrated. Because our kids, they did not ask to be here. They are the innocent factors in this. And this is what I want to say too. A lot of times our kids have to suffer based on the poor decisions and the unwise choices that we make. Our kids have to suffer. And they shouldn't have to. And they are the innocent factors in this. And like, no matter what, these are your kids and they need you. These are my kids and they need me. But I break the cycle and say, but I'm not going to keep engaging in these type of behaviors. Because what man really respects me that if I'm just laying my body down, I'm so easy, I'm just having all of this casual sex, like what man respects that? So I expect, okay, he get me pregnant and ghost me. I mean, because what man truly respects me as a woman just laying my body down and I'm just so easy? You don't know him, but you let him go up in you raw. You don't even know him, but you lay your body down and don't even use protection, nothing. This is how a lot of us women are moving. What man respects that? I'm just going to leave it there. What man respects that? He leaves and walks out. There's no respect. Don't even respect himself. Don't even love himself. How can he respect you and love you? We can only do what's in us to do. If it's not in him to be a father, he's not going to be a father. If it's not in him to respect you, he's not going to respect you. Walk out. He'll walk out and won't even think twice about looking back. Won't even think twice about coming back to check up on you and the baby he helped make. If we're looking to be respected and looking to draw people that respects us, is that we have to know our worth and we have to know our value, because that will draw people to respect your value and your worth. But a real man will not respect me if I'm easy. If I'm just easy. I'm easy to get. If I'm moving that way, expect him to treat me the way he's treating me. Using me, misusing me, abusing me, whatever. And I just wanted to say that. I want to leave it here until next time. You take care of yourself. We have to keep doing the work, going through the process in order to make progress. I do the work that's going through the process. When I'm making progress, its results are being made. Until next time, you take care of yourself.